What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and I hope everyone's been having a wonderful day. Personally, for me, the heat and me learning how to code has just made my mind completely I think that explains it, actually. I think that's a good explanation of how my day is going. But with that said, in today's YouTube video, we're of course going to be talking about some new Fortnite leaks. So we're going to be talking about the upcoming Heroes vs. Villains Marvel LTM that has recently had a lot of information leaked publicly over on Twitter via Windswing, Egyptian Leaker, and Lulu World. So credit to where credit's due to all of those people who actually helped find this information, because I personally haven't found any of it myself. And let's talk about what this upcoming Heroes vs. Villains LTM actually is. So first off, this is set to be a Marvel themed LTM, similar to what we've seen before with like Marvel Knockout, where you had a certain amount of respawns you're able to do, you had special abilities and everything else, and it had a whole entire goal of just trying to make it through multiple tournament, based rounds to be the #1 surviving team in your mode. Now, the way that this mode is set to actually work is that it's set to be similar to the in-game LTM in some ways, in which each team will have a limited amount of respawns, and then once that team's respawns actually get fully depleted, that team will no longer be able to respawn once again after they get knocked out. However, if you actually get knocked out, you don't instantly die off or anything like that. You actually have the option to get revived by a teammate, which won't consume a respawn point. So let's say you're someone who has 3 respawns left. One of your teammates gets downed, but they manage to actually get revived before fully getting eliminated, you will still have 3 respawns left. Now, if that teammate actually gets fully downed and eliminated, they will respawn once again, but it will reduce the respawns available from 3 to 2, etc., all the way until you have 0 left, at which point the game is just going to go ahead and make it so you're just gone, right? That player, once they're fully eliminated, if they don't get revived by a teammate, is just out of the match entirely until another game actually gets started, or, when the match ends, all that type of stuff. They also mentioned that you might be able to swap teams and merge squads mid-match, which is an interesting mechanic. Now, I know we've seen something similar in other games like Call of Duty, for example, Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. You're actually able to leave the squad you're currently in and actually request to join nearby squads in order to make a squad that normally can only be the size of like 4 players total, a maximum of like 8 players or something ridiculous along those lines. So it's interesting to see how something that works in another game could potentially make its way into this version of Fortnite with its own little LTM. Some other things is that bunkers won't be enabled, so the little weapon bunkers that you're able to go inside of that have guaranteed rare chests and weapon little ammo crates or whatever else, and the mod bench or whatever else, those aren't set to be enabled at all in the mode. So regardless of how long the match actually goes on for, you won't be able to actually open those up, sadly, and you'll just kind of have to go with what you have, because it appears like mod benches in general won't be enabled in this Heroes vs. Villain Marvel LTM mode. Now, some other information is that it has all Chapter 1 Season 8 and all Chapter 2 Season 4 Marvel Mythics returning in it. Now, this also should include the current Chapter 5 Season 4 Mythics as well, so it's interesting to see how they have added back all the Marvel Mythics, specifically because they're not planning to actually bring them back to the normal game, but they're trying to bring them back to the actual LTM form that we're going to be having, where you have just a mosh pit of everything that is probably ever released for Marvel weapons, which also means that we could potentially see them going ahead and releasing like the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet once again for all the Marvel LTM themed goodies and stuff. And I mean, imagine if there were multiple Thanoses in a single match. Just think about all the chaos that could actually go down during that time. But of course, we have to wait and see as we get more information and more leaks added to the files regarding what this LTM is before we can say what it is going to be 1-to-1. Now, the other note is that it is set to have a unique loot pool, but based on all the information we have available to us, such as old Marvel Mythic weapons returning, them trying to make more Marvel LTMs once again, most likely we'll be seeing Marvel tournaments returning, where we could get maybe a skin early or something like that by actually competing and doing well in a tournament. But I also highly expect that we're going to be seeing the old Marvel LTMs returning as well, such as the Takedown LTM, because of the fact that they added back all of the old data for all of the old Marvel stuff in general. So it only makes sense that, hey, they're reusing this to kind of make a new modern LTM, but they might as well go ahead and bring back the older LTMs as well, because I'll be honest here, maybe it's just me wanting some nostalgia in this game for this season, but the old Marvel like Takedown LTMs and stuff, and the old Marvel compete tab tournaments we had before were a really nice touch to the season and kept me and a few friends actually playing for a little bit longer, because you'd go ahead and get your trio together and you'd go ahead and get random mythic weapons or whatever else, and you would just try rolling around in like a group ball or something and just trying to combat with other people in order to make it to the top of the leaderboard. I even remember going up against content creators such as Squatting Dog, where we started locking in because it's like, oh, I know this person on the other team. So there's those hype moments that I remember from those old LTMs, and considering the fact that they're using a lot of those old files, I wouldn't be surprised if while they're making this new, Heroes vs. Villain LTM, they go ahead and bring back some of those older ones as well. However, at least as of right now, as the time you're recording this video, we have no news regarding the old versions of the LTMs, at least as far as I'm aware of, and it appears like we're only going to be getting this new one, but it is still something to kind of keep your eyes out for, because I wouldn't be surprised if they did reuse it due to the fact of how much of those old files are being reused nowadays for this new LTM they're working on, and even the current Fortnite season. But I would love to hear in the comments down below, what do you think about this upcoming LTM? What do you think about them potentially bringing back the old mythic weapons from old Marvel seasons? Do you think they're going to modify the values so that they're actually modernized to, you know, for Chapter 5 data and everything else, so that you don't have like the Chapter 5 mythics clashing with the Chapter 2 mythics and one being more powerful than the other? Just kind of what are you thinking about all of this overall, and what do you hope they do as we continue seeing more and more content added throughout the entirety of Chapter 5 Season 4 Absolute Doom? But with that said, I hope you champs and champions enjoyed today's short little video. As a little bit of a topic towards the end of the video, because of all the heat and everything that's kind of going on, it's been very hot here recently. I've been trying out using no webcam for these videos. If you guys would like to see webcam once again, let me know. But I also might try some different things here and there, such as maybe trying like a PNG tuber model, or, you know, like a VTuber model, something along those lines, just to kind of make it so I don't have to sweat 24/7 whenever I make these videos having a Santa hat on, while also dealing with the heat from the outside world, you know, because at least right now, it is a landscape out there, to say the least, right? At least my room gets hotter than it is outside. But until next time, I'll catch you champs and champettes around. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, and peace out.